Listen carefully because this is not a small message and it is not something you should brush aside. There is a person deeply tied to your heart, and right now they are standing inside a problem that has grown bigger than they can manage in silence. It touches their mind, it touches their peace, and whether you fully see it yet or not, it touches you too. Something is shifting behind the scenes, something real. You may have felt it already in quiet moments, in sudden thoughts, in that strange heaviness that appears for no clear reason. That feeling is not random. It is a signal. It is a sign that this connection is moving through an important season. So stay with me because the next few minutes may help you understand what your heart has been trying to tell you. Do not skip this part. What is happening now could become a turning point. The person connected to you is carrying confusion, pressure, and emotions they can no longer hide from themselves. They may look fine on the outside. They may act normal. They may keep busy and speak as if everything is under control. But deep inside, something is catching up with them, and the truth they tried to delay is beginning to rise. This moment asks for your attention, not your panic. It asks for your steadiness, not your fear. Because what happens next may open a door that has been closed for far too long. Your person is not only dealing with outer pressure, the harder battle is happening inside them. It is the battle between what feels safe and what feels true. For a long time, they tried to move forward without facing certain emotions. They told themselves that staying busy was enough. They told themselves time would fix what they refused to face. They believed they could push certain memories down, silence certain feelings, and still keep life moving. But some truths do not stay buried. Some emotions return stronger. Some connections keep speaking even through distance and silence. That is where they are now. The thoughts they once escaped are waiting for them at the end of every long day. The feelings they tried to ignore are getting louder. Their heart is asking questions their mind can no longer avoid. And this creates tension. One part of them wants clarity. Another part still fears what honesty might require. One part wants to move closer. Another part remembers pain and steps back. If their energy has felt mixed lately, this is why. If they seem present one day and distant the next, this is why. It is not always because they do not care. Sometimes it is because they care deeply and do not yet know how to stand still inside that truth. Keep listening because this matters more than it seems. The struggle is not empty. The pressure is not meaningless. It is pushing them toward a moment they can no longer delay. You may not be able to see the full picture from the outside, but that does not mean nothing is happening. Some of the most important changes begin where no one else can watch them. A root grows before the tree appears. A foundation is built before the house can stand. And the heart often changes long before actions make that change visible. Your person is in that hidden stage now. They are starting to see that what once felt comfortable no longer gives peace. Old distractions are losing power. Easy excuses are no longer convincing. The routines that once helped them avoid their emotions are not working like they used to. Something deeper wants attention. Something deeper wants honesty. And honesty always changes the direction of a life. The moment a person clearly sees what they have been denying, they cannot fully return to pretending. That is why restlessness has been growing inside them. That is why certain thoughts keep returning. That is why this connection keeps crossing their mind, even when they try to focus somewhere else. You may have sensed this pull as well. You may have noticed how certain memories return without warning, how certain signs feel louder than before, how your heart keeps circling back to the same feeling. Do not ignore that. Stay grounded in it. There is movement here. Quiet movement, yes, but real movement. And when inner change begins, outer change usually follows, even if it takes a little time to reveal itself. Right now, your role is not to force answers. It is not to chase clarity before clarity is ready. It is not to create conclusions just because uncertainty feels uncomfortable. Your role is to remain steady while the truth comes to the surface. That is real strength. Not loud strength, not dramatic strength, quiet strength, the kind that stays calm when emotions rise, the kind that does not collapse just because answers are delayed, the kind that refuses to let fear write the story before the story is finished. This season is teaching both of you something important. While they are learning accountability, you are learning patience. While they are learning honesty, you are learning trust. While they are learning courage, you are learning emotional balance. These lessons are not easy, but they are valuable. Many people lose meaningful connections because they react too early. Many people let fear speak louder than wisdom. Many people walk away from something important simply because the process feels messy. You are being called away from that mistake. So, if your heart has been restless, breathe. If your mind has been racing, slow down. If you have been tempted to assume the worst, step back and listen again. This is not the season to destroy your peace with fear. This is the season to protect your peace while truth does its work. And if this message is speaking to you, stay to the end, because there is still more beneath the surface. The truth is that your person is getting tired of carrying unfinished thoughts, tired of replaying old moments, tired of acting as if certain emotions no longer matter, tired of wondering what could have been, tired of knowing deep down that something important has remained unresolved. This kind of tiredness is powerful because it often becomes the beginning of change. A person can live in avoidance for only so long before avoidance starts costing more than honesty. That is the point they are moving toward. They may not fully understand it yet. They may still hesitate. They may still move back and forth between certainty and doubt. But inside, a line is being crossed. The comfort they once protected is beginning to feel more painful than the truth they fear. That is a major shift. And once that shift begins, life tends to move faster than expected. A conversation that seemed impossible can suddenly happen. A truth that seemed buried can suddenly come into the open. A heart that stayed guarded can suddenly begin to speak. So, if things have felt slow, do not assume they will stay slow. If things have felt distant, do not assume they will always stay distant. Some of the biggest changes come after long, quiet seasons. Some of the strongest truths appear after long silence. That is why your job now is not to lose hope. Your job is to stay ready. Stay open. Stay wise. Stay clear enough to recognize the moment when the hidden finally becomes visible. There are also outside influences around them, and not all of those influences are helping. Some voices are pushing them toward growth, others are pulling them back toward comfort. Some situations are forcing them to think more deeply, others tempt them to keep avoiding what matters. This is why their energy may feel uneven. Some days they feel strong, other days they feel unsure. Some moments they know exactly what they need to do. Then fear returns, old wounds wake up, and hesitation takes over again. But do not mistake hesitation for lack of feeling. Often hesitation comes from feeling too much and not yet knowing how to carry it with courage. They are wrestling with vulnerability. They are wrestling with change. They are wrestling with the question of what happens after the truth is finally spoken. That fear is real, but it is not stronger than truth forever. Sooner or later, truth grows louder than fear. That is the turning point building inside them now. And when that point arrives, things may begin moving in ways that surprise even them. You may notice small signs first, a shift in their tone, a deeper sincerity, a change in how they respond, a softer energy, a stronger presence. Pay attention to these little things. Growth rarely arrives perfectly. It often arrives awkwardly, slowly, and in pieces. But movement is still movement. And if you only judge by perfection, you may miss the miracle happening in plain sight. At the same time, something important is happening within you. This season is not only shaping them, it is shaping you too. You are learning how to keep your peace without closing your heart. You are learning how to trust your own inner knowing instead of begging the outside world for constant reassurance. You are learning how to stay centered when circumstances do not give quick answers. Those lessons matter because the next phase of this connection will require maturity from both sides. Not perfection, maturity. The ability to listen without rushing to defend. The ability to speak honestly without turning every fear into a fact. The ability to pause, understand, and respond with care. The ability to choose truth over old patterns. Maybe a year ago, this situation would have shaken you more than it does now. Maybe you would have let uncertainty control your emotions faster. But you are not the same person anymore. Life has stretched you. Delays have strengthened you. Disappointment has taught you resilience. Every hard season gave you something. None of it was wasted. It prepared you for a moment like this, when emotional steadiness becomes one of your greatest gifts. So do not underestimate your growth. Do not focus only on what still feels unclear. Notice who you have become in the middle of all this. Notice how much stronger your heart is now. That strength will matter when the next chapter starts opening. The next chapter may not begin with a perfect confession or a dramatic scene. It may begin quietly, through one honest message, through one deeper conversation, through one moment when silence finally feels heavier than truth. Do not expect perfection. Expect sincerity. Expect human emotion. Expect a little awkwardness. Expect pieces of truth that may come out slowly at first. Sometimes people reveal their heart in small steps before they reveal it all at once. Sometimes the first sign of change is simply that they stop running from what they feel, and that is still powerful. If that moment comes, do not only listen to the words, listen to the energy behind them. Notice the effort, notice the shift, notice whether honesty is trying to grow where fear once ruled. This matters because real change often looks softer than people imagine. It does not always arrive with grand speeches. Sometimes it arrives with trembling honesty, with imperfect courage, with someone finally admitting what they have known for a long time. That can be enough to change everything. So remain calm, remain wise. Do not let old fear make you miss new truth. This story is still unfolding, and there are still pieces moving into place. Even now, while you may feel like nothing is certain, something is becoming clearer. Something is preparing to move from the hidden world into the visible one. And when it does, your steadiness will help you meet that moment with wisdom instead of panic. There is a reason this connection has felt heavier lately. There is a reason your intuition has been more active. There is a reason certain thoughts, memories, and emotions keep returning when you least expect them. It is because this season is not random. It is asking both of you to grow beyond old habits. It is asking both of you to choose a better way. Fear wants quick reactions. Wisdom wants clear seeing. Fear says, run, assume, close off, protect yourself at all costs. Wisdom says wait, observe, stay grounded, let the truth show itself. That difference matters now more than ever, because what is happening is not just about romance. It is about healing. It is about self-awareness. It is about finally facing what has remained unfinished. The pressure around this connection is not here to destroy it. The pressure is revealing what is strong enough to last and what is no longer meant to stay hidden. That is why this stage feels intense. That is why emotions feel close to the surface. That is why even small moments can feel meaningful. Beneath all of that, growth is happening. Growth within them, growth within you, growth within the bond itself. And growth rarely feels neat while it is happening. It often feels confusing before it feels clear. But clarity is coming closer, bit by bit, choice by choice, honest moment by honest moment. Keep that close to your heart, especially if you have been feeling tired, because the story has not reached its final page. What happens next will depend on choices. Their choices. Your choices. The willingness to stop hiding. The willingness to speak instead of assume. The willingness to meet truth with openness instead of fear. They are approaching a point where they will have to decide whether to keep living beneath their deeper truth or finally rise to meet it. You are approaching a point where you will have to decide whether to let fear control your peace or let wisdom guide your response. That is why this moment is so important. It is not only about what they feel, it is about who both of you are becoming through this process. Strong connections are not proven in easy seasons. They are revealed in uncertain ones. They are shaped when clarity is delayed. They are tested when emotions are complicated. And if they are real, they do not break just because the road becomes difficult. They deepen through truth. They strengthen through growth. They become healthier through honesty. So if you have been asking whether anything meaningful is really happening, the answer is yes. Something meaningful is happening. Something deep is shifting. The old silence is weakening. The old resistance is losing power. The old confusion is starting to crack. And through that opening, something truer may soon appear. Stay with that. Hold on to your peace. Protect your heart without hardening it. Because the next move in this story may arrive sooner than you think, and when it does, you will want to meet it with clear eyes and a steady spirit. So remember this as you move forward. The struggle they are facing will not last forever. The confusion will not last forever. The waiting will not last forever. Every season changes. Every lesson reveals its meaning in time. And no matter how this unfolds, you are already stronger, wiser, and more prepared than you were when this journey began. That matters. It means this chapter has not been empty pain. It has been preparation. It has been refining your heart. It has been teaching you to stand in truth, to value peace, and to trust what is real even before it fully appears. Your person is learning too. Slowly, yes. Imperfectly, yes. But learning all the same. The awareness growing inside them is not small. The pressure building inside them is not pointless. It is leading somewhere. It is pushing them toward a choice that can no longer be delayed forever. And if you have made it this far, take this as your reminder to remain steady. Not cold, not disconnected, just steady. Let fear grow quiet. Let wisdom speak louder. Let patience do its work, because some of the most important answers arrive when everything seems still, and some of the most important changes begin long before the world can see them. The story is still moving, the truth is still rising, and the next chapter is closer than it looks.